We are live. Hello, Carola. How are you?
I'm really well, Ashley. Thank you very much for having me
Fantastic.
today.
So before we start, just you're not driving, are you?
No, I'm not driving, I promise.
There's cars going past. It looks like you're driving. So I just want people to know that you're not driving. So I'm going to play
No.
you a song, and this is your choice. She's got a smile that seems to me, reminds me of childhood memories, where every expression's alive to the sky. Now and then when I see her, it takes me away to a special day. I would just break down and cry. Oh, sweet child. Oh, sweet child. That's all you're getting, because this show's about you, not about the music. But yeah, a little bit of Guns N' Roses for you there.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much. That was brilliant. Loved it.
Oh, the headphones have fallen off. It's a
Oh
disaster.
no.
Let's put them back on. Yeah, it's we all know that song. It's an amazing song, but it's not normally played on acoustic guitar. So why did you pick that song?
Well, I have to admit that in the beginning I was struggling a little bit with your list because I always loved R&B and there wasn't a lot of R&B on your list. But because I'm an 80s girl, and when I left school, yes, I'm that old, it was Guns N' Roses. It was really big, and it was a good time in my life, I have to say.
Fantastic. It's and I love music. You know, it's a big part of my life. But it's great how it takes you back. You know, you hear a song on the radio that you haven't heard for ages. Oh my God, that was such a great record. So Golden Brown by the Stranglers always takes me back to the roller skating rink. And so there you go. That's what the music does. So Carola, great to see you. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
me. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I'm Carola. By the time I said hello, you noticed I'm not a native speaker. I'm German. In the UK since 2008. And well, I'm a nutritionist, I'm a fitness instructor, and I work a lot with companies these days, especially over the last 2 years. Things have changed a little bit, but I thoroughly enjoy working with companies, helping them to look after their people with nutrition, with lifestyle, and all the things we should do. And we all know that we should do them, and sometimes we just don't do them.
Yeah, I think that's the. I think we do know what we should be doing, but the trouble is, it's too easy not to.
Yeah,
And I guess what you're trying to do is make it easy for us to do the right thing.
exactly that.
The other thing you could do is follow James Taylor's advice and marry a dietitian. I suppose you're going to get it right then, aren't you?
Yeah, ask my husband, or my partner, I should say. Martin should do all the things I place in front of him and eat all the things I place in front of him. So
I saw him down at McDonald's yesterday. I was driving past. I wasn't in. We're talking about LinkedIn. So why do you use the first question, sorry, when did you first join LinkedIn? How long have you been on LinkedIn?
I needed to check because I literally forgot it. It was in May 2011, so it was only after I moved to the UK, because LinkedIn is not very big in Germany. There is a different platform in Germany, and I decided to join LinkedIn because all of my colleagues were there, and they said, well, it's probably a good idea. And it has turned out one of the best platforms for me, I have to say.
No, good. You're on the right show. Paul's got a question. The questions are coming in thick and fast here. Is there any part of a Big Mac that can be considered healthy? Paul, I love you, mate. That's so funny.
Of course, Paul and I know each other well. We tend to bump into each other at 7:00 in the morning in Tesco's. And he went shopping for me last year in December when I caught COVID. And he said he has been to aisles at Tesco's he has never been before. And So Paul knows very well that pretty much the only bit of a Big Mac is the salad leaf at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That is funny. Good old Paul. Do you use other social media other than LinkedIn? You said it's a very big platform for you, but do you use any of the other? Because I do believe there's some other social media platforms out there.
Yeah, I think one or two. Yes, I use Instagram for work on occasion, not as regularly as I should do, and I use Twitter for fun and for politics. Once in a while, I want to hear about politics, and then I go to Twitter.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize that you could have Twitter for fun, so that's an interesting one. So thank you for that. Why do you use LinkedIn, and what do you like about it?
I use LinkedIn because my clients are there, or my potential clients are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which means I have a chance to reach out to them, make sure that they see what I'm doing. And yes, it is about promoting my work a little bit, but also it's about finding the connections, because it's not only about, oh, hey, here I am and I am the best and la-di-la, you know how it feels. But it's just about making those connections and get to know people a little bit better. Because in the end, every people are buying from people. And
that's the thing, and that's why I like this show, because I can get a little bit more nosy and find out a little bit more about the people that we're seeing on LinkedIn. So how often do you post your own content?
I try twice a week. I try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, and what was your biggest ever post then that you've had?
Whoa. The biggest one ever was 2 years ago. I created a study about the impact of food and lifestyle on mental health and well-being. And on that one, I almost got 5,000 views when I had the results up and what people have actually achieved during the study. I don't know if that's good, incredible. But I was quite proud of it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Look, the thing is, you've got to compare yourself to you. Don't compare yourself to, I can't think of anybody now, like Stephen, what's his name? Anyway, there's loads of people on LinkedIn that have got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers, like Bill Gates, for example. And they're gonna get loads of people viewing their posts because they've got loads and loads of followers. What you've got to do is you've got to compare yourself with you. If you're putting a post out now, how many views are you getting to how you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And every now and again, we'll have one that blows up and you're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. But you never know. And there's no rhyme or reason why a post goes viral. And 5,000 isn't viral, but if it's more than you normally have, then it's viral for you. So yeah. It's a win. It's a win, absolute win. And again, it's all about mental health, and it's Mental Health Week we've just had. So it's all bringing that into perspective. So, do you get results? Do you get new business from your work on LinkedIn?
Oh yes, absolutely, all the time. People are inquiring about what I'm doing, because I think it's not quite the normal route, because when we are thinking of workplace well-being, there's a lot of amazing people out there who focus on mental well-being and how to get to that point from a lifestyle perspective, and from the things you can how you change yourself. But I still think, well, we all need to eat, so we might as well eat the right foods and get the things right we should do. So that's my way of doing it.
Yeah, and this study that you wrote about in your post a couple of years ago, what are the key findings that you're able to share with us?
I think the interesting thing was that, obviously, with my nutrition hat on, I was hoping that the nutritional changes would have been the most impactful. But in the end, it turned out it was a combination of all of it, because I'm lucky enough to be a fitness instructor too. I always incorporate lifestyle changes as well. So I have I have been focusing on the nutrients which have an impact on mental well-being. I have been focusing on active as well as passive recovery. I have been focusing on sleep, and it was the combination of all of it which really made a difference to people. But it was great to see that, especially it was the beginning of lockdown. And to be quite honest, I ran this study because I was panicking like many other people were panicking. Was, oh, well, I don't have anything else to do. My work just stopped. Well, I'll just do a study. And I've found lots of people who were interested in getting to that point and finding out what they can do to support their well-being. And we went through all of those ideas. And but if you would like to talk about nutrients a little bit, the first one, which is really important for your mental well-being, is omega-3. And some people don't have enough omega-3 in their diet because they simply don't like fish. Many people just either shy away from cooking it at home because of the smell, or they just simply don't like it, or they're vegetarians or vegans. So omega-3 can be a little bit of a problem. But you can get omega-3, for example, from ground flax seeds or from chia seeds if you do not want to eat your salmon on a regular basis. The second one would be magnesium. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 reactions in your body, and one of them is relaxation. So it relaxes your brain, it relaxes your heart. It's very interesting and very important for your heart health as well. And that's another one which you can lose easily out if you do not eat nuts, because magnesium is available in nuts, in cashew nuts, in almonds, for example. And getting those into your diet is relatively easy if you know that you should do that.
I'm writing this down. So chia seeds, how many
chia
chia
seeds
seeds do I need?
About a tablespoon per day.
Okay.
And the nice thing about chia seeds is that they are completely tasteless. So you can sprinkle them wherever you like, from a porridge to...
they make your yogurt crunchy, which is nice.
Exactly.
And sorry, where did you say I get my magnesium from?
Nuts.
So how many nuts should I have then?
A handful per day.
Okay.
Almonds or cashew nuts.
That's dead easy to do. I like cashew nuts, but and that's the thing, right? It's those are the key things that we need.
In terms of mental well-being, there's another one which is vitamin B6. That's a very easy one because you can get B6 from green
chocolate.
No, I'm sorry. No, green leafy vegetables and eggs, and lean meat. So that's one the vegans should be watch out for.
Yeah.
Because they might be a little bit low on B6.
This is brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, excellent. So, so what type of customers do you work with then?
I work with organizations of all sizes. At the moment, for example, I'm supporting a local council down here in the southwest with 700 people. So it's because they're all going to some sort of hybrid work arrangement. They don't want to see me in person. They do everything via Zoom and Teams. I don't need to be there and see 100 people in a room because they're never there. So the size of companies is not really that important. I work with companies that have 5 people, where I have everybody in a room, and bigger organizations because and I've just spoken to a company this morning. They're based in Switzerland, but all of their team is based worldwide. So we're having a session early in the morning to ensure that the people from Asia can attend, and then we have a session in the afternoon to make sure that the Americans can join us.
Wow.
And thankfully now, with technology catching up with these things, it's rare that I need to be anywhere in person. So I'm working with organizations in the US in the same way I work with somebody in Switzerland, which is super. super interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is the thing that the pandemic has taught us, that we actually can still do business and get things done without having to travel halfway around the world. It does mean you don't get to drive your sports car. Hey.
Shh. I'll still do it. Not not this one today, but
it would have been a little bit noisy, wouldn't it?
It would have been noisier.
If you were parked up in that. So, how many hours a week do you currently work, and how does that work for you?
I admit I still work more than I would like to, but because my work just doesn't feel like work, I just love doing what I'm doing. And I don't really mind. I'm still working 5 days a week. I'm hoping that eventually I could work 4 days a week, and I think I'm easily clocking 60 hours, but I just love it. I don't mind. It doesn't matter.
My wife is the same with me. I come in my shed, right? Because this is where I do all my work. But it doesn't feel like I'm going to work. I'm chatting to people all day long. It's just brilliant. So yeah, I think that was the great thing about going self-employed. And whatever I do, the difference is me, which is absolutely superb. So what challenges at the moment do you have with business?
I think, to be quite honest, the challenge for me is marketing and promotion, because I had, for the very first time in my career, a very, very busy November and December, which you may imagine that normally this is not the time where people talk to me, because it's November, December, and she's talking about sugar and alcohol and those things.
Is that bad for you?
People are not quite interested to talk to me at that point in time. So this is generally the time where I prepare for quarter 2 and quarter 3, because quarter 1 is generally a busy one. And I missed that time because I had a corporate contract where they said, we don't care what time of year it is, we love your work and we would like you to continue with it in November, December. And I just literally didn't have the time. So I need to catch up a little bit. But this is first world problems, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, right, with the marketing, we've got to be doing it all the time. You know, we're on the crest of a wave doing really well, but there's still got to do marketing. And Paul mentioned McDonald's earlier. They still advertise on Prime TV. Even though we all know what McDonald's is, we all know what they do, but they're still there advertising. So yeah, we definitely need to do that. So when you're not working 60 hours a week and talking about nutrition, and when you're not on LinkedIn, what do you get up to in your spare time?
Well, you mentioned the car.
Yeah, I did. You know, I'm a fan.
I still own my TVR Tuscan, and I probably will never get rid of it, because I just like the car too much to get rid of it. But apart from that, I live a quiet life. I like gardening. I like reading. I love being outside. So whenever I tell my clients, well, you should spend time outside and you should spend time in nature, yes, I'm really up there. And I'm lucky enough to run well-being retreats with the amazing Dr. Vicky Barnes, where we literally take all of these things, and it's really, really nice taking people with us on the journey.
Fantastic. So who goes on your retreats then? Obviously, don't name them, but what type of people come on your retreat?
Honestly, it's really across the board. We're very proud that we most of the time have 50% men and 50% women, because the whole well-being topic is still very much of a female-centered topic. The men are not overly keen, but we're getting to that point, because I think we're just having the right topics where we approach men in the same way we approach women. But generally there's no real structure of there are a certain type of people or a certain, I don't know, a certain job title or anything. No, just across the board, people who are interested in looking after themselves, no matter where they are in which state of their lives.
Yeah, and that is the key thing, is looking after ourselves. Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for being on my show today. Thank you for the comments this afternoon. How can people get hold of you?
Yes, you can find my website, www.carolabecker.com, first name, last name, as you would expect. And my email is carola@carolabecker.com. And of course, you will find me on LinkedIn.
I'd like to think so. I'd definitely like to think so. You can drop, when this is finished, you can go into the comments and drop those in there so that people will be able to find you. But thank you very much for coming. I've got one last question.
Sure.
What tip would you give your 16-year-old self?
Oh, wow. I would say just calm down. It all will turn out nicely. I think I was way too panicky when I was 16, and I'm far more relaxed now.
But I totally agree with you, because that is so me as well. But the trouble is, I wouldn't have listened to me.
I wouldn't.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? Brilliant. Absolutely super duper. I'm going to get those chia seeds out and eat more nuts, and I eat plenty of green leafy veg, so I think I'm okay. And
fantastic.
I work with a mutual friend of ours, Dave Stickland. So I'm trying to keep myself fit as well. So thank you very much for coming on, and see everybody next week. All the very best. Bye bye now.
Thank you. Bye.